So this is grants, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so what was the question that we were looking at here?
Listen, I'm old. I don't have to remember all this stuff.
Let me go.
The deal was that this person, Bernadette Brandon, was trying to find the relationship of her family to Grant's family.
Right.
And we know that Pop was illegitimate.
Right.
And she believes that some relative of hers was the father of Pop.
Right. Okay.
So we circled around, I think, 3 possibilities. One.
Let's pull it up.
Okay.
And
I'm going to have Kathleen help me sign back onto Facebook. And I noticed before we started this, you did something with Facebook. With this, did you? Or is that,
with this problem?
Yeah. I could have, my eyes deceived me.
You know, my brain deceives me as well.
Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it'll pop up to us if we, just creep around the edges and give it space. All right, so let me see if I find him in, probably the best place is to look for, let's see. Did I save him? Yes.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yes. See, sometimes it works, the old brain cells. Okay. And so we were looking at, where did Pop go? Oh.
Pop is under Tessie. She married a Robinson.
Okay.
Go under children with the blank spouse. Maybe he's there.
So there he is. Grant. So, but I thought we had Pop attached to, all right.
Well, there he is, Grant Wood, 1912.
Right, but I don't see Pop.
That is Pop.
That's Pop? Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Right. Okay. So, good Lord, where is my head? So did we leave ourselves a trail of crumbs? Yes, we did. All right. So you're going to see, at some point you want to order his SS5 application.
Can I legitimately do that if I'm not a relative?
Let's see what the rules are for that, because at some point it becomes a genealogical question. S5 application. Okay.
Everybody's so concerned with privacy, except when you really need it.
Right, but I mean, he's been dead for 20 years. You can request a copy of a deceased person's original application. Let's see what this one tells us. Are we looking at the submit your online request via FOIA online at Well, I just want to see something that quickly tells us what the requirements are. All right. Request for deceased individual's Social Security record. You need a photocopy of original application. Okay, so that's if you need. Echo, stop Pandora on everywhere. Echo, stop Pandora on everywhere. Okay. How do I get it? Is there a fee?
Yes, there is a fee.
Right. Certification not required. Request a photocopy, request an extract, the deceased individual's information, their parents' information, complete as much as possible. Requester's information, please read Privacy Act statement. Okay.
Here we go.
Allows us to collect, furnishing. Can you read it?
Yeah, furnishing us this information is voluntary. That's us giving them information.
Right.
We may share this information in accordance with the Privacy Act and other federal laws. Let me see.
I don't see anything here that sets any limit on.
Yeah, it says it goes to the National Archives and Records Administration. Is that true? We will.
Right, because that's who's got it. But there's no
Okay.
there's no limitation. If you've got $24.
Sure. So I would use the Social Security number that we've got on Family Search.
Right.
Because that's the only information I would have.
Right. Right. Okay, so that seems fairly, I'll just
Now this says request for computer extract of, wait a minute, of Social Security number application.
You want to request a photocopy of the original application for a Social Security card.
Okay.
Hold on, here's Pat. Hey there. Okay, well, you know you don't use AOL's desktop. You only go to AOL through Google Chrome. Okay, put a note to that effect over your computer. Never use AOL desktop. Only check mail on Google Chrome or on Firefox. Only use a browser. Don't use the desktop app. You go to AOL.com on your browser. You never use your desktop app for. I thought we had deleted that desktop app. We haven't deleted that yet? We need to delete that thing. Right. Right. Okay. Okay. Bye-bye. Yeah, you always want to see the original. You don't want somebody else's reading, because that's going to be what they think it said.
Okay,
And,
got you. Okay, it's up here.
Yeah, so you want to go the extra $2.
Yeah, sure. No, right. Okay.
So let me see. I will put that in a. Well, I will send this to you on the chat. let's see, security participants, and
So if you send it to me on chat, that's here with Zoom, right?
right, and then you can just click on it and it will open in your browser at home.
Oh, okay.
So I'm trying to figure out how I do that. Invite, no, mute, oh, over here, chat. Okay, so you should be able to just click on that.
Okay,
And,
do you want me to click on it now?
yeah, click on it now, and it should go straight to this page.
It says to everyone, type message here. File. Maybe
So
that's what I,
when
maybe
you're
that,
when you're on the
wait a minute, let me see.
I'm
Save,
gonna stop sharing for a minute.
okay.
Now, so we're looking at the regular screen and you're seeing me, and
Mhm.
down at the bottom you have all of
Chat,
the, and there's chat. So click
right.
on chat.
I did. And then I got, and this is what, oh, it's not coming up now. Oh, here it is. Zoom group chat. So HTTPS.
Just click on that.
Okay, wait. Blank screen, blank screen. Okay, FOIA request. Make a FOIA request form. It's up on the bar over here.
Okay, so that is request a copy of the deceased person's original application for a Social Security card.
Yes, okay, I see that.
So that's
Okay.
that's the one that
That's the one I'm going to click on when we get off.
okay, here's Pat.
Okay, so now I'm going to go, I'm leaving that, and then I'm going to go to the new tab, but now I've lost, let me see if I minimize. Oh, there you are. Okay, I got you.
Okay. Hi, Pat.
Hey, Pat, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
Surprise, surprise. I made my way.
Good. Good.
Okay.
We are, I'm going to go back to share. So we were looking at how to order that SS5. And I
Oh,
sent,
Social Security app.
yep. So we were astonished to see that just anybody can ask for it.
Mm.
If you've got 24 bucks, you can get anybody's application.
You know what? I lost your picture.
That's because I went to share screen.
Oh, okay, all right.
Now I'm doing all sorts of stuff.
Okay.
That sounds
As
like
long as it's
Miriam.
not- As long as it's not on my end,
No,
because,
it's over here. Okay. So we were, because it's just the three of us, actually it was just the two of us to start with. So we started working on Miriam's question about POP. And if I can just find that, here it is. All right. So we were saying, okay, what comes next with POP? And we've got order a copy of his SS5, so we've got that. And then the other thing was research for available birth, marriage, and death records. And research the family POP lived with, James and Katie Wood. And then research the Tessie Wood, who was listed as his mother in his Social Security index on Ancestry. And possible father was Daniel Brandon, who was a telegraph operator for RR in 1920 census. We were going to see if we could check the census, the railroad records. So we were thinking that Who is this Daniel Brandon? Do you remember where that name came from, Miriam?
If you take a look at the Brandon family tree,
Okay.
it seems to me that he was close in age to Tessie, but I thought at one time we decided that perhaps he was not the right person because he married somebody else. And you had mentioned that at that time, if the male impregnated somebody else and he was not married, they usually would have a forced marriage.
No,
No?
no. I mean, no.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is all slowly coming back to me. We had done a whole lot of analysis of their names and ages. Did I write that down anywhere? No, well, okay. So we were thinking based on Tessie's age. I'm going to get rid of this one. Okay. All right, so we were looking at, I wish I could say it's all coming back to me, but it's not.
No, it's been a while.
Okay, so we were looking at, here's Tessie, she was born in 1891. And so we were thinking, was it Daniel who was born in 1893, or was it Patrick Joseph, his father? And it's more likely to have been Daniel. So let's see if we can find him. We should have added that. So I'm going to do a find. Daniel Brandon. And let's see if that's enough for us. No. Okay. Daniel Brandon in Paterson, New York. Did I put that as place of birth? Of course. Okay.
It shows how much I can see.
Yeah. Okay, let's see if that works better. Oh, all sorts of people. Okay, so here he is. And now the other question that we had was that wasn't there some question about Tessie not being the mother, but Tessie's mother being the mother?
Well, that was from my sister-in-law. And Gary, her husband, Gary Wood, who is my husband's brother. The story that they had was that the grandmother, I think her name is Catherine or something, was Pop's mother. And Tessie was his sister.
So in that case, we might want to think, okay, go on.
But the records indicate that Tessie gave birth to a son, and I think they named it Grant.
Okay, what records?
It was like, I think a New York State index or something, but there was a record there because I found it.
Okay, so we've got, and Grant was born in 1912, right?
Yeah.
Okay, have you attached that record? Is it on Ancestry?
It could be on Ancestry. Let me see what we got here. When I do the attaching of the records, sometimes I attach it, it doesn't go everywhere.
Okay.
So I could have attached it under Pops, maybe.
Okay, all right, let's go.
Sorry about that.
No problem. You know now why that's so critical. Okay, do we have a, let's put these in
New
chronological.
York, there it is, New York State Birth Index. Where was that? There it is, down here, down, yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, okay, well, that looks September 1912. But, and this
There
is,
it is, Grant in Carmel.
right, but it doesn't have a mother's name.
Oh, you're right.
Right. Okay. Have you requested the birth record for him?
No, from New York State.
Right.
New York State, I think, requires fees, but I'm not too sure whether the church, whether you can go and get it from the church.
Okay.
And that's why I hold off on a lot of stuff, because once the church opens up, I want to exhaust that possible record.
Right. Okay. Birth certificates can be requested 75 years if the person whose name is on is known to have deceased. I just want to see if you're even going to be able to get it. Okay.
Now, see, they have a lot with New York City, but this is not New York City.
Right. Ancestry has the index. They have just to 1909. 1909 seems to be the magic date.
Why not take a look at
Okay.
one of Pop's marriage?
Right. But you don't know if the marriage record is going to tell what, you know, he was believing or what was real. So 125
That's
years
true.
after the event, so that's where the 1909 limit comes. So 1912 plus 125 would be 2027 before, is that right? Okay. So that would be, when it would be public. Individuals with one of the following relationships to the subject of the certificate can obtain copies of birth records: spouse, parent, child, sibling, niece, nephew, aunt, uncle, grandchild, or grandniece, grandnephew. So if one of Grant's kids is willing.
Yeah, fat chance on that.
Right, right. Okay, so let's see what the Family Research Center will have. So it was Cameron, New York.
Carmel.
Carmel. Okay. And we're looking for vital records. Okay. So 1873 is all they've got. and then the newspapers. Let's see for the county of Putnam. Marriage records. Again, we're only getting the birth records to 1873. And New York. Vital records. Vital records, here we go. Birth, nope. Miscellaneous, nope. Well, that's kind of odd. That's all out of those 64 collections. Those are the only births you've got. Directories. Directory to collections of New York vital records, 1726 to 1989. That's just a book. Oh. We've got indexes.
Well, we just found the one index, so that
Right.
doesn't do us much help.
Yeah, but I'm just hoping maybe there's an index that has more information in it.
See how I just dismiss stuff?
Well, I mean, you know, and see how I grasp at straws. I'm not necessarily sure which one of us is, you know. Let's see. Guide to Public Vital Statistic Records. No. Obituary notices. So it's just this item, and I think this is just that item that we've already seen. And he was born in
Take the E off of Putnam, if
Yeah.
you're going to do it exact.
Yeah. Okay. So
No results.
where did we get that? It must have been from Ancestry. Let's see. So this is, okay, so that we pulled out of Ancestry, New York State Department birth index. Household member. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Where did that number come from?
Go up. Doesn't even say.
Right. And just Grant, September, Carmel, and that's the birth certificate number. What is that household member number? That must,
Where did I get that I was able to put that in there?
let's see, what was the number? 173. Let's open this and see if there's an index.
You know what? I lost your face. I lost this. I have the big word Zoom on now. What to do?
Try hold the Alt key down and tab around, and you can cycle through all the windows that you have open. And
The windows I have to post attendee Zoom, new tab. Oh,
So you
gosh.
should be looking for, well, tell you what, I'm going to stop share for a minute. All right. So I've stopped share, so you should see some tab that has,
No, I just have the word Zoom copyright. Oh, I'm so aggravated. Oh,
well, what happens when you hold the Alt tab and tap? What do you see? Hold the Alt key down
Alt key is down, and what else?
and just tab.
And
So you hold the Alt key down and you tap your tab key.
where's the tab key? I've got end house. All right, I'll do something.
You know, the tab key that's on the left
Oh,
side.
yeah, okay, I got, there you are. Oh, you're so smart.
Okay, no, this is just a really good tool to navigate around all of the windows you've got open. Just hold the Alt key down and then you can tab multiple times till you find the window that you're looking for. And if you hold the Alt key down and hold the Tab key down, you will see thumbnails of all your windows. And you can just use your mouse to click on the window you want and then let go of the Alt and Tab. So
Thank you. Great. I learned something new today as we digress.
okay. All right. So let's go back to, so I'm not sure where that number came from. Let's see. I wonder if they have easier birth certificates. Who is eligible? Oh, okay. So it's still not looking good. Oh, and they want for your driver's license and stuff. So they know me a mile away, don't they?
Big Brother has all your information.
I know. You think you're going to game this system, get in line. Okay, well, that's really unfortunate. Okay, that is the way it is. We do know it exists out there, and in 2027, you'll be able to look at it. Let's just go here and see if there's any more information than what we had. Nope, it's exactly the same thing. Okay, well, that's it. All right. So we beat that horse. He's dead.
Okay, so I'm going to just leave that number in there.
Yeah, we don't know what it is. It might be significant. All right, so I'm going to clear out some of these things here. And so it would be interesting to get that SS5.
Okay.
But the SS5 is going to put down what he believed was
His
true.
mother. Right.
And so we have two possibilities. One is that Tessie is the mother, and in that case, Daniel Bernard would probably be the father. And the other case is that Tessie's mother is the mother. Now, if that was the case, she would be 35, 47 years old. 47 years old.
Doesn't seem too likely.
That seems kind of old to.
Yeah. Not impossible, but.
Not impossible, but I tell you, if I were a 47-year-old woman having a child out of wedlock, I'd be embarrassed enough to pass it off as my grandchild. Just saying.
Yeah, but Katie was married, so.
Right. So she, definitely James would not be happy going around, people saying, hey, James, you're still, virile
Yeah,
as
right.
ever. And he says, no, I'm not. My wife had an affair. So, I can see there would be some good, solid reasons for passing the child off as Tessie's. Now, okay, so then.
Now, where did I find that Tessie was the mother? I think maybe on the marriage certificate or something.
All right, let's take a look.
I don't know.
Let's take a look.
But there was some document that indicated her as the mother.
All right. Now, it's interesting. Her first child with her husband was James. So, is there any chance that any of Tessie's children, Tessie's descendants have DNA tested?
I don't know, because I never met that side of the family.
Okay, that's something to explore. So let's go back to our notepad.
Yeah, but if they had DNA testing, wouldn't it show up under, well, did I upload Grant's DNA to Ancestry? Because I have his DNA all over the place.
Did he test on Ancestry? That's the only.
No, he tested on Family Tree.
Okay. You cannot upload it to Ancestry.
Okay.
Have you uploaded it to GEDmatch and
Yeah.
Heritage?
Yes, I did it to MyHeritage and to GEDmatch
Okay.
because I get notifications from MyHeritage.
So I want to think for a minute about what we would be looking at if we were looking for Grant and one of Tessie's kids. So I'm going to just make myself a DNA stick chart. So we have Grant Wood, and he was born in 1912 in New York. And let me get this organized the way I like it. All right. Now, if his mother was Tessie Wood, born 1891 in New York, and she married let's see, what was the name of the guy she married?
Robertson?
Angus Robertson. Okay. And he was born 1883 in Missouri. Missouri is Mo. All right. So let's say that one of their children had a DNA test. That means that Grant is going to be a half sibling to their full child. And this is how I set up my stick trees to show that. And so let's say we go child. So Grant is 1912. So this would be a child born
What did we say, 1913 or something?
Well, let's see, their kids
1915.
around 1920 here. Okay. So
Well, why would you put 1920 instead of the earliest one, which was 1915?
yeah, you're right.
No, just curiosity question.
Just average. When I say 1920s, I mean like.
Oh, okay, so you're just taking a whole range. Okay.
And their kid would be born. Do we have any of their kids? No. All right. Okay. So 15. Oh, he died young. And so 19, 20, 30, 40. So their kids would be born around 1940s to 1950s. And then we'd have, now your Grant is the one who took the DNA test.
Right, and he was born in 1937.
Okay, so he was our test taker. And so we might start getting people around the 1950s. So 1970s, you could have 1990s. So we'll transfer over in a minute. So that would be a parent, a sibling, a first cousin once removed, or a first cousin twice removed. And let's look at what their DNA numbers would look like. So if Grant had say a first cousin or a first cousin once removed, or sorry, these are all going to be half. Oops. So that'll be a half sibling, and that'll be a half cousin, and a half first cousin, and so forth. All right, so let's take a look and see what those numbers are. So we've got a half cousin. That would definitely show up around 440, anything in that range. So you would have noticed that. A half first cousin once removed would still have been somebody that would show up as a close match in the 200s. And a half first cousin twice removed, he would still be, you know, in the 100s. It would still be somebody who would show up. All right, so let's see what we had for him in his DNA matches. You with us, Pat? Okay, connecting audio. All right. You're on board, Pat?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
Oh,
So let's see what we have for somebody in the 100 range for DNA for Grant. Why is this going so slow?
okay, and that would be the half cousin once removed.
Well, half cousin twice removed.
Okay, 123 is half cousin
Right,
twice removed.
right. So if you look at the chart, half cousin once removed would be in the low 200s, you know, could be 100 to 400, 100 to 300, but remember, it's going to be that bell curve. So
Right.
the big chunk is going to be, you know, around 230. And then the half cousin twice removed is going to be, you know, about 100 less than that, about 120. And so let's see what we had. And so have you identified these people?
No, I have to take a look at what she's done, but it seems to me that the Brandon, Teresa, Emma, she's very protective. I'll have to take a look at her email and see if she outlined who is what.
Okay. Here's somebody with a tree. Okay, so do we recognize?
Okay, Miller and Dooney. That was Grant's mother.
Okay, so that's no help to us.
Right.
All right. So we want to look at people who are not in common with Patricia Ward. Okay. So we've got a prospect in Bradley Bateman.
Well, what about down here with David Charles Brandon that has a tree?
Oh, lovely. Good catch. David Charles Brandon is 380. Let's see who he is. This is exciting. My blood is starting to stir. Okay, so David Charles is okay, let's go to our stick tree. And let us get this will tell us whether it was David, but his autosomal is going to tell us whether Daniel Bernard or Patrick Joseph. So let's see if that's conclusive. So if we had David Charles Brandon, okay, and he is born in 19, so he's going to be in Grant's range, probably born in 1940s, and his father was Daniel Arthur, who was born in 1922 in Connecticut. And I'm going to put the Arthur here. And 19. And then his father was Daniel Bernard. Okay, 1893. All right, and then we have Patrick. And he was born in 1869 in Ireland. All right, and so that would, if we have these two as the parent, Daniel Bernard and Tessie, then Grant and David would be half full first cousins. Whereas if it was Patrick and Tessie's mother, Katie,
That has a definite Irish sound to it.
yeah, if it was these two, then they would be half second cousins, all right?
Okay.
And we know that David Charles shares 387 centimorgans with Grant, all right? So we've got 387 centimorgans. Here's the thing, it's with family tree DNA, and they count really small pieces. I have a person that family tree DNA has him at 70 centimorgans shared with my client, and 23andMe has them at 30 centimorgans, and Ancestry has them at 17 centimorgans.
Wow, what a difference.
Right. So let's see what 380 would be. So we'd look at half second cousins. That's really not looking good for half second cousins. It really does look like half full first cousins. And that would mean that Tessie is the mother, not Katie.
Okay.
And it's much more likely that Tessie had an affair with someone 2 years younger than her than she did with someone 20 years older than her. So,
But if it was, let's go under the presumption. Say that she had an affair with somebody 20 years
well,
older.
in that case,
then the DNA would change, centimorgans would change.
Right, you're right, because in that case, it would be correct. We are not testing Katie, we're testing Patrick, and we just eliminated Patrick because of the 387 that David Brandon had. So our test was on which of these two was the parent.
Right. So we know definitely Tessie is the mother.
Because it is hard to imagine Daniel Bernard having an affair with a woman 20 years older than he is.
True.
So,
but not unlikely that a man could have an affair with somebody 20 years younger than him.
Right, but we have, he'd be like twice her age. I just really find that hard. If there was a, if there's a, what is it, there's a 19-year-old in the neighborhood of a 21-year-old, I'm much more inclined to think they're the couple.
Yeah.
So we definitely ruled out Patrick because the 387 just is way too much for that half second cousin. half-second cousin would be down in 123. Half-first cousin would be around 400. And that's what we've got, 387, which is, you know, right in that middle part of our, I'm drawing lines that you have to see, but you know, if I'm doing the bell curve, the
What are you doing?
you know,
Get
that
out of there.
that we're looking at, that 387 is going to be in this area here.
Okay.
Okay, so the 120 is going to be way over here, very, very low probability. So the next question we have is whether any of the Robertsons or their children's descendants, and that would give us more fuel. Now, there's also this Maureen Brandon and Teresa Emma Brandon. If David Charles will tell you how they're related to him, that will solidify it even more. Do we have any information about how old they are? No. D.R. Brandon. D.R. Burndon. Is that his? No. Okay, so that is his. So he would be able to tell you how Maureen and Teresa are related to him. And let me think. David Charles Brandon, let's see if we can find him on one of these people sites. And what do we know about where do we know anything about where he's living?
They could be living in Danbury, Connecticut. Could be.
Okay. Connecticut or, you know, okay.
Or in Upper New York.
So David Brandon. Okay, let's try Connecticut.
Well, that's a city. Okay, Danbury, yeah.
Is Danbury got 2 R's?
No, one.
Okay. Let's see. David Bryan, David L, David D. Okay, let's try changing that to New York. No, he's too young. That's odd. Haven't you been in touch with David Charles?
No, I don't know any of that, of his side of the family.
Okay.
The Brandon side,
Who's this Bernadette?
Bernadette is the one that's doing all the DNA.
Let's take a look and maybe we can figure out from her tree. Because you've got all of these Brandons, it should be, well, if she's interested in the question, right?
Yes.
So she would know how all of these Brandons fit together. And she can tell you where Maureen and Teresa and probably Patricia and Catherine fit into her tree. And based on that, let us see if we are able to find, let's try this. Let's try looking at Maureen, Teresa, Patricia, and let's go look at the chromosome browser. Okay, do we have the ability on 23? It's nice because you can change who you're comparing to, so you could see how people relate to each other. Family tree DNA does not let you see it doesn't really let you see how they match each other. Darn it.
So if we checked off those names and tried to take a look, say at Ancestry, just for the heck of it, to see if they have a tree, would
Right.
that be of help, of any
Let's
help?
do that. Let's do that. Let's see if Bernadette has a tree. Let's look for a member search for her name. Probably, yeah, so, that's odd. I wonder who is the person that is D.R. Brandon. Might be Bernadette.
Yeah, because she goes by the name of Doctor.
Okay.
I'm just a
All right.
wealth of information, aren't I?
Hey,
I wouldn't want you
all
to
right.
in my case if I was
Well,
trying to
one
run.
of them has a family tree and got nobody in it.
Oh, that's unlikely.
All right,
I'm surprised.
right. And she's,
Maybe she's on Family Search.
right, well, we're gonna also look for the, these are all people who haven't logged in recently. Let's also look for the people in her tree. So let's look for Patrick Joseph Brandon, 1865 to 1934.
Ooh. Hmm.
1865 to 1934. She's got to have a tree on for this guy. I shouldn't have said that. Okay. See, I should not have spoken. No. All right, let's go to, I know we've seen him on here. Okay, good. So I am going to follow him. And so we've got him on, I was really hoping that we would find him on Ancestry, because sometimes people, okay, let's go at, all right, Daniel Bernard, and then we've got Patricia Brandon. I wonder, say she's deceased. She might be. I wonder if it's possible that she is this Patricia here. No, because she would, well, it might be. It might be. So let's just hypothesize for a moment that
Well,
that
she's related to Daniel Brandon, right?
right. She is Daniel Arthur Brandon's daughter. So if we look back at our stick tree, she would be a sibling of David's. And if that's the case, then we have, he's at 387, and she would be at 488, which really emphasizes the fact that they are circling that 440 here for a half full first cousin. Does that follow?
Yes.
Okay. So I would definitely want to talk to Bernadette and say, Maureen and Teresa and Patricia and Catherine and David, are they all siblings?
Could be.
I wonder if we can find a...
Well, we found Patricia, so she's a child of Daniel.
Right, and let's see if we've got if we can find an obituary for her. Okay, so if we do a search for and leave that one open. How many Patricia Schwerkolts are there? There we go. And the Washington Post. Okay, so that's Daniel A. Survivors include his wife of 50 years, Janet S. Brandon, 7 children, Daniel of Gulfport, Robert, James, David, Brandon of Easton, that's our David that we've been working, John of Manila, Maureen Kremer, and Patricia Schwerkolt. So Maureen Kremer and Patricia Schwerkolt are his children. And that means this Maureen and this Patricia are children of, are siblings of this David Charles. And so we have Maureen at 567, Patricia at 488. Who are these other people that are so high, though? It could be that they are cousins. It could be that they are cousins, in which case they would be cousins of the same generation. Let me think out loud here. So we've got these people who are children of Daniel Arthur. And in fact, that goes on to Maureen, and she was how many centimorgans? Maureen was 567 and Patricia was 488. 7 and okay. Sorry. One row down. All right, so we have, okay, we've already got Patricia here. Let us add these up and get our average. Okay, equals average turns the average of okay, so the average of those 3 siblings, let me make that a little clearer. So the average of these 3 siblings is 481 centimorgans. And we look at the average of 1,842 people who are half first cousins, and that average was 440. So we have nailed down absolutely that.
Okay, hold on a second. Keep going, but I got to answer this.
Okay, so we nailed down absolutely that that
Don't have to be on the 2Bs now.
is the relationship, half
Have a chainsaw.
full cousin. So we have set this paternity here.
Threw out a lot of food.
Now our question, we want to confirm that Tessie is the mother.
Because of this other.
So we're interested in finding if there are any descendants of Tessie's and Angus's who have tested.
It's that time. You need money?
And when we look at,
I'm back.
okay. So when we look back at the people, we know Patricia Ward is the maternal side. We know Maureen Brandon.
Okay, so.
Let's try.
Okay, got you. I thought you were doing the chicken. I am doing the chicken. I did mine too.
Okay, let's try excluding Maureen's. Okay.
Okay, so I'm sorry that I got distracted.
Okay. So we had these 3 siblings,
Right.
and
And
their
then-
match to Grant. The average of those 3 siblings matched Grant at 481 centimorgans. And when we look at the thousands of people that Blaine Bettinger has tested or has included in his database, people in this group, this many degrees of separation, which includes half first cousin, they averaged around 440. So could it be half second cousin? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. So the relationship is right smack in the area where half first cousin is definite. So we have absolutely definitely proven that Daniel Bernard Brandon is Pop's dad. Now we want to prove that Tessie is Pop's mom. And so I want to see if we have any people who are not DNA matches to Maureen, nor DNA matches to Patricia Ward. So I'm going to exclude all of Maureen's. Okay, I want to reset the filter. I want to get rid of all of these matches. Okay, so now just Maureen. All right, now this is really nice because notice that Bradley Bateman is neither a match to Patricia Ward nor a match to the Brandons. So if we reset the filter and let's look at who Bradley Bateman does match. And do any of them have trees? Nobody really close. That's unfortunate. Who is Bradley Bateman?
I don't know. It could be on Grant's mother's side. Her maiden name was Miller.
Right. I mean, you know, when you look at Patricia Ward, you know, Grant had two grandparents. He had just, you know, two maternal grandparents, just like he had two paternal grandparents. And the fact that Patricia Ward is matching on, was it the Millers?
Right.
So that is Grant's maternal grandmother or his maternal grandfather's side?
That was his grandmother because his mother's last name was Miller, Marguerite Miller.
Okay, so I'm thinking Pop's, so.
And
Okay.
I remember Marguerite talking about somebody by the last name of Junie.
Okay, so we're thinking that Grant, your husband Grant, we know that Patricia Ward and all the people that she matches match Grant's mother's mother. And so when we look at Bradley Bateman, he doesn't match Patricia, so, and he doesn't match Maureen. So he could be a match on Bradley's mother's father's side, or he could be a match on, Bradley could match on Grant's Pop's mother side, or he could match on Grant's mom's father's side. And he's a really close match. Bradley Bateman. Do we have any information about him? DNA Bateman 01. Dana Bateman 01. Let's just do a Google search and see. No. So the other thing that I want to try is how many Bradley Batemans are there?
Little baby girl.
Somebody's playing with her kittens.
Yeah, and she's trying to play with the wire on my headset, and that's not a good plan.
Oh, that's cute.
Bradley Bateman.
She's a character. You'd love her. She's a little brindle cat, and she's a mess. Not quite 3 months old, I don't think.
Oh,
I saw her. She was adorable. Okay, so we do have a whole bunch of them. All right, here's what I would do. I would email Dana Bateman and say, I am trying to determine whether my deceased husband's match, Bradley Bateman, is on my husband's mother's side or on his father's side. Can you tell me
No, quit that.
if you've got a tree that I could look at? Or can you tell me if he is, well, let's see. We've got, what do we have as far as a tree for Grant? So looking at his tree, we've got, both of them were Millers. Is that correct?
let me see. I have a feeling no.
Oh, okay.
Miller would be the husband's name, but whoever did that just put down.
Let's fix that right off.
Oh, Mama's fixing to whack your butt.
Okay.
You be a good girl.
Marguerite Miller, Bernard, Marguerite Miller. No.
So we would need the marriage records for
Bernard and his wife. So we've got their 1910, 1930.
maybe, do you think that maybe the marriage certificate?
An entry for Grant, an entry for, oh, here's an obituary. I wonder if it might tell us. Are you a subscriber to Genealogy Bank?
No.
Oh, that's too bad. All right, let's go to Bernard and see.
Oh, I got the doorbell.
Mary Downey. Okay.
Hold on a sec. Okay,
Yeah.
it's my neighbor next door. I'll be right back.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
That's interesting. Somebody connected it to everybody except for the wife. Got a duplicate family out there. Who's building that? I wonder why Angela did not include Marianne Downey. That's strange.
Maybe there are family secrets.
Yeah, seriously. All right, so we've got Bernard Miller with their children, May, Alice, Ida, Eileen, Helen. Yeah, this is really cool. So let's go back to the share screen.
Listen, that Excel spreadsheet that you did, can you send me a copy of it later?
I will do that. I will do that. I like making these. You see how I did that? I hold Alt and Tab down, and now I've let go of the tab, and I can go around and choose anything that I want. So I can go directly here. If I hold the Alt key and tap Tab, it's going to move over. And so every time I tap, I move to another window. I'm just holding the Alt key down and tapping, and I can work my way through the windows I have open, or I can just keep that Alt key down and select a window. So keep that in mind. It's a good way to navigate.
Oh, it's awesome.
Okay. So we were looking at Bernard, and we had this marriage of Gerald H. Carey to Helen Miller.
Helen was Marguerite's sister.
And so let's look at this record. So I opened the record up to review the attachments, and I saw it was already attached to everybody except for Mary. And so I was like, well, who is this? Somebody else has another tree out there for Bernard Miller. So I went to right click on that, and that took me to the tree here. And we have a Bernard Miller and a Mary Ann Dooney Miller. Well, now we know by this, it's Mary Ann Downey is her last name.
How do we know that Downey is right and not Dooney?
Well, that's a good point. Let's actually look at the record itself.
There's a plan.
If we are in luck, then we see her actual signature on it. Now, this is not going to show that because it's her daughter, Helen Miller,
Right.
and her daughter is providing the names of her parents as Bernard Miller and Mary Downey.
Downey. Okay.
So we still want to do some more research, but we have something that's provided. And of course, we have this extra doubt because did Helen provide this information, or did Helen tell her husband to be Gerald, my parents are Bernard Miller and Mary Downey, and Gerald decided how to spell them? So we don't know. But we would do more research. But the thing that I want to do first is I want to make sure, is this family here the same family that you already have?
Because I remember May.
Right. Well, this is from your tree already. This is your tree here.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Right. This G7S6279 is this tree here. And all they have is Bernard and a Mary Ann Dooney Miller. And they have her as born in 1878. They have one record attached. And they have Helen Josephine with 5 records. So let's find, is this Helen Josephine the same Helen Josephine that you have in your tree? So here's your Bernard Miller, and here's Helen Miller, his daughter. You don't have anything attached to her yet, but you have her born in 1914 as the daughter of Bernard Miller. And, well, actually, this isn't you. This is Taz Mraz.
Right.
What a name. Hey, I've got a question.
Yes.
For, oh gosh, Marion, does the
Yeah.
name Onofrio mean anything? Because that's who made the last changes in one of these earlier couple of pages back that
Right.
to do with this family. Do you know that person?
No, I haven't heard the name D'Onofrio mentioned, but I
Okay.
do remember my mother-in-law mentioning Dooney
Uh-huh.
Okay.
and
So
Carrie.
we've got, all right. So if she remembers Dooney and Carrie, then this Josephine, this Helen Miller is this Helen Miller. So
Okay.
let's do some surgery on the tree. All right. And we're going to go to, let's go to this Helen first, and we're going to merge her with the Helen that's in your tree. And we're going to merge by ID with that number I just copied. And it's going to say, are you sure about that? The age is about the same. We know the parents. That's interesting. We have completely different parents. So I am not going to move. Oh, wait, we've got, sorry, spouse. Read for goodness sakes. Okay, the spouse is Gerald Carey. The Carey matches what you had heard. Bernard Miller, Bernard and Mary, okay. And all right, so yes, we are convinced that they are the same. So we're going to continue. And is there anything that we want to replace? No, we like the information that's already in there. We're going to continue. And we're going to say vital information and relationships match. The names, the ages, her husband's name. So we're going to match that and say finish the merge.
I like the way they do that automatically.
Yes.
Nice.
And they're making you think about it. They're saying, you know, these are things you want to think about when you are making a decision. Hi, Rosie.
Hi, thought I'd check in a little bit, but I'm here.
Hi, Rosie.
Okay.
Everybody
We're doing a fun one. This one is where we are looking at the DNA for, and I, you know, normally these off the cuff DNA things don't go well. What we're looking for at Miriam's husband's DNA.
Okay, yeah.
And we have definitively proven, based on these siblings, we have proven that Daniel Bernard Brandon was the father of Grant Wood. And
My husband's father.
right.
Okay.
So her husband here, Pop here, Pop's Pop. Okay, and so the thing next is we've found this one person, Bradley Bateman. He is not matching the Brandons, so we know he's not related to Daniel Bernard Brandon's son.
Okay.
He does not match Patricia Ward, who is a maternal cousin of Grant's. So Grant's mother. So what we had here is Grant Wood married, what was Grant Wood's wife's name? What was Pop's wife?
Marguerite.
I'll call her Marg Miller,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so Marg Miller. Now, we're trying to find out whether this Bradley Bateman, is he connected to Grant's mother's mother? Because we know that Patricia is connected to Grant's mother's father. She's on the Miller line. And she was kind enough to put up a tree. Come on, show us the tree. See, I'm not lying. She's actually a Miller. And she's actually a very close Miller, Barney Miller and Mary Dooney. Here it's spelled Dooney. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to find out if this extraneous guy that we've got here, who is not matching the Millers or the Brandons, is he connected to the Woods or is he connected to the Dooneys? And so,
Well, we were trying to determine also whether it was Dooney or Downey.
right. And so in the process of asking that, we wanted to contact Dana Bateman, who is managing Bradley's kit, and we wanted to ask her something specific. And so we wanted to be able to refer her to the tree. And so as we started going to the tree for Grant, we didn't have a lot of research on Grant's tree. We had his Pop's wife's father, Bernard Miller, but Pop's wife's mother,
Yeah.
that got us nowhere. So we started looking at Dad, and there was a marriage record that hooked us up to another tree.
Mm.
And so now we are consolidating these multiple trees, and we've got okay, so we've got this record here showing us that we've got Helen Miller is attached to your tree for Helen Josephine Miller Carey. And what we want to do is we want to take your Bernard Miller and we want to attach him to this guy's Bernard Miller, or vice versa. We'll do either way. And somebody says, we think there's already a duplicate. Let's say we agree with that, because that's the one that I wanted to combine anyway. And so we can switch their positions or not.
Well, who
And
has the more information?
exactly, that's what I do. This one's got a lot more information. So let's
But
switch.
before you switch it, just let me ask, I'm sure we can do this.
Right.
Like when we switch information down further, it has a little more information regarding, Marianne and
Right.
Helen. And
Well,
the only thing I'm concerned about was the last names.
don't worry, we'll get there.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll switch them, and we'll say yeah. On the other hand, no, this is all right, because this guy is just that little one for the stub of Helen. So we know, yes, they are the same. And is there anything that we want to correct? We're keeping these. Okay, we're gonna merge Mary Miller with Mary Miller here, so that's all right.
Oh, I see what it did. Okay.
Yeah. And I'm again satisfied that all vital records match, and I'll finish that merge. And now you see he's got 2 wives, okay?
Mm.
Now, these 2 wives have different ages.
Oh,
So let's see what we know about them. On one of them, we have 1 record, and she's in an obituary. So unless the obituary mentions that she was, no, this is the obituary for Helen Miller, her daughter, who died in 1991, and does not mention her mother's age. Where is it?
Well, birth date, isn't it that up there, June 18th, 1913?
No, that's Helen's birth date.
Oh,
It's not.
okay,
It's
sorry.
not. It's not Mary Ann's. So let's see what the other one had, and this one had. Let's see. We've got a 1910 census. Let's see how old it has her in 1910. So it says she was born in 1883 and 1910. That seems reasonable to me. This one says she's born in 1883. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to change her birth to 1883. And I'm going to do that on the basis of these censuses that I'm citing here. So I don't know where the 1890 date came from, but
Oh, the 1930 census?
Yeah, the 1930, yeah.
okay. Well, we'll just say censuses. Two censuses show her birth. '83, including the earliest ones for her. Okay. So, all right. So now we're going to merge these duplicates. And I am not going to worry about a lot of differences here because we're going to do another merge. I'll keep this one. We're going to still do some cleanup. It's got a date. I'm intrigued by that date, and I want to find out more
That's
about it.
different. I mean, that's 5 years
Right.
difference from.
Right. And so we've got that all right. So let's continue with that. And we'll continue again. And here we're going to say most vital information. Some details contain minor conflicts. Okay. And we're going to still do some cleanup because we still have, let's see. Okay. We still have this woman who's got a lot. Okay, this woman's got a lot of research done on her. She's got 6 records on her. And let's see why they call her Dooney, D-O-O, rather than Downey, D-O-W. Okay, so I like to organize these for myself. So we've got the 1940 census, 1930 census. We've got her daughter's obituary, another daughter's obituary, a son's marriage record. Okay. So we don't have anything that really shows me that birth. Where does that birth record come from? Who put that?
You mean the last name of Downey?
No, the birth record of 25 March 1878.
Oh, okay.
That comes from Angela Onofrio. And so we might send a record and ask her.
It must have been pretty bad, huh?
Here is what I would do right now, because I want to teach Angela that she needs to document
Well,
her evidence.
no,
All right?
it doesn't anything
I'm
like
going
that,
to
but
take this
we got
information
evidence in this place, too. Everywhere.
and I'm going to put
I think we're finding-
Angela Onofrio posted a birth date of, but provided no sources. The only known sources listing her birth year are the censuses. And two of those, including the earliest, 1910, list her birth in 1883. Okay? Now, I would love her to come and change that. And, oh, look here, we've got Mary Downey. Again, this is for the daughter, so I'm not going to worry about that right now. So we've got.
What if we did a generic search on Downey and Dooney?
Well, we're going to need to invest more into that. But what we do know is that her name is not Miller.
Right.
Right.
Okay. So we're going to save it as Dooney because Angela Onofrio has put a lot of work into that. And we are going to add the name Downey. Daughter Helen Miller, marriage record lists her mother's surname as Downey. That's all we know. Okay. Now,
another thought just flashed my mind really quick. Sorry to interrupt.
right.
So we got the name Downey off that marriage record, but there are other sisters there and other marriage records. I'm wondering, is this a correct way of thinking? I'm wondering what they say.
Okay, so that's a to-do list. Check all her children's vital records for correct spelling of Mary Dooney Downey surname, so you don't forget it. But that's not what we're here for. We just wanted to clear up so that we could send people to a particular tree. And we've got, all right, so Marianne Dooney or Downey, and she is born in Ireland. And let's see if we have cleared this up. Okay. So we have, all right. We have Bernard Miller, but we don't have a lot on Bernard Miller. And we have Patricia, who has nothing on Bernard Miller. All right. Does she have anything on Mary Dooney? No. Okay. So our question to Bradley Bateman would be something along the lines of, let's go over to my scratch pad. Hi, Dana. I am researching my husband's family tree, and one of his closest matches is Bradley Bateman, who shares how many centimorgans? 582 centimorgans with him. I don't know if Bradley is related on, okay, well, what I can say is, I do know that Bradley is not related to my husband's, okay, my husband's
Father?
paternal grandfather or my husband's, okay, to my husband's paternal, okay, my husband's paternal
Grandfather and grandmother?
No, we don't know, because the grandmother is Tessie Wood. He
Okay.
could be connected to the Woods. We are really hoping he is.
Okay.
Paternal grandfather. Can you tell me if Bradley is related to my husband's paternal grandmother's family, the Woods, or to, okay, the Woods, or their descendants, the Robertsons, because I'm thinking Bradley might be like a child of, you know, one of Angus Robertson's kids. That would make him in that area.
Why do you say that when it looked, okay, we didn't identify him on that chart, on the,
Right.
That's right, okay.
Right. So if Bradley Bateman is a child of Tessie and Angus Robertson, then Tessie is definitely the mother, because there isn't enough DNA for Katie to be the mother. If it is a child of Margaret Miller, you know, Bernard Miller, or, you know, Bernard Miller, or not, or Mary Downey's family, that, now they're straight from Ireland, aren't they?
Well, yeah, it said she was born in Ireland.
And what about Bernard? No, he was born in New York. So
Yes.
it could be the Millers. He could be related to the Millers, because we don't have any more about the Millers. So Wood or their descendants, the Robertsons. Yeah, okay, can you tell me if Bradley is related to my husband's paternal grandmother's family, Wood, or their descendants, the Robertsons, or to his maternal grandparents, the Millers and the Dooneys, AKA Downeys.
Okay.
Okay. I have them on family search, family tree at, and let's just give the, let's see. I want to go back to Grant. All right, so let's put Grant here. All right. Okay. I am researching my husband's family tree, and one of his closest matches is Bradley Bateman, who shares 582 centimorgans with him.
I'm
I
starting
do-
to wonder about you.
Me too.
Oh, I do know that Bradley is not related to my husband's paternal grandfather.
Yes.
Paid
Can
a
you-
fortune for
Pat,
me.
go on mute if you're going to chit chat.
By Onyx.
Can you tell?
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll just get out of your hair.
No, I'll just mute you. I just muted you. Okay. Can you tell me if Bradley is related to my husband's paternal grandmother's family, surname Wood? Or their descendants, the Robertsons, or to his maternal grandparents, the Millers and the Dooneys, AKA Downeys. I have them on family search, family tree at this number. We have absolutely proven who Pop's father was. And so we need to add him in.
And so
because-
you proved this based on the DNA, since I missed all the stuff earlier?
Right. So
Okay.
what we did was we knew from, all right, so we had looked at the people, we excluded, this is Patricia Ward, who is related to the Miller side, to Grant's mother's side. And so we had a bunch of these Brandons.
Mm-hmm.
And so we looked at David Charles, and he had a tree up, which, never mind, he had, okay, so he
Okay.
had a tree up. We ended up finding the obituary for his father that named Patricia and Maureen as siblings. And we then looked at what we had, where we had 3 children, 567 centimorgans, 488, and 387 centimorgans. We took the average of those 3, and that's 481 centimorgans. And then we looked at our shared centimorgan chart, and that falls right here
Mm-hmm. Okay.
in the half full cousin mode. We know they're the same generation, so it's not going to be a one cousin, first cousin once removed. They're the same age, so they're the same generation.
Okay.
So we know that Daniel Bernard has to be the father, and we want to update our tree to reflect that. So I'm trying to find where Daniel Bernard here. And we're going to take his number and copy that over to add the spouse. And there. So, So now when you give people Grant's number, GM3SLOY, and they go and look at his tree, they'll see what you have so far. That you've got the Brandons and the Woods, and you've got the Millers and the Dooneys nowhere. But they've got enough to know where Bradley connects. And if we're really, really, really lucky, he connects on the Wood side. But on the other hand, if we're not lucky, he will help you with either the Miller or the Dooney research.
Okay.
So,
And then for Tessie, I would put a second, I'll call it, quote, the second marriage with the Robertson.
well, union, let's call it a union.
Well, the union was really with Brandon. The
Right.
official marriage was with Robertson.
Right. So, you know, the way we phrased it, I tried to leave it pretty unsaid.
Right.
You know, is he related to my husband's paternal grandmother's family, surname Wood, or to his maternal grandparents, the Millers and the Dooneys? Okay, you can see my tree, or you can see Grant's tree. On Family Search at this thing. Okay. So where's the chat? And thank you so much for your help. So I feel like this is I feel hopeful that we might get a response because we are not being horribly invasive. They haven't really given us a lot of information here. Now, Bradley Bateman and Dana is his manager. It could go a couple of ways. It could be Dana is his daughter or Dana is his wife.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you just don't know. You just don't know. Anybody else have any thoughts about how else we could? Let's take a look again at.
Does Bradley Bateman have a tree, did you say?
No, he
Okay.
doesn't.
No.
But what if you just did a search on Bateman, like with Family Search or Ancestry?
And see if any.
Tree shows up.
Mhm.
Okay, so let me log into your account, and what's it called? Wood Miriam.
Right.
Okay. And let's go to Grant's DNA.
Well, they're not going to have Grant's DNA.
Oh, darn it.
I was just thinking about the tree.
Yeah, just
Yeah, but
search
there's
tree.
going to be so many Bateman trees.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, if you just, if we just take a look at member search, and let's do a search for Dana Bateman, you can see we've got a whole bunch of them.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just Dana Batemans. That's not even Batemans.
Right, but she was oh, okay, never mind. She was on Family Search in April of 2020, so I figured there'd be something more current on Ancestor as well, but.
Yeah.
And this Dana Bateman, the second one down, has what, 2 trees that she's working on? Whatever.
Actually, wait, where is it? Dana Bateman.
Am I reading that right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's take a look. And this one's got 3 trees. Well, let's take a look. It won't hurt to look at them. Dana
Oh,
Bateman.
there's only 4 people.
That's all right. If one of them happens to be a Miller or a Wood, or
Oh, I hate
Private.
that's not helpful. Okay, so let's see. Let's look at it.
There was one that signed in 2 to 6 days ago.
Right. It doesn't hurt to see. Here's one with 6. That's private. Here's one. We looked at one of them. Let's look at the other one. And
It says public.
bated breath. Nope.
Oh.
Um,
Why is it public, but then it's private?
Let's a lot of people, they put these up for bizarre reasons. Okay, so
all right, sorry about that.
let's look at this one. The Dale Gale, Bateman, Jeter, Perry, McGregor, Goddard, Leak.
Doesn't look good.
Doesn't look
No.
like any Wood or Robertson or Downey. And that was definitely the Batemans. Yeah, that's the Bateman line. Okay, so that one, we've undone what we could there. Oh, there was that.
Obituary, which was very helpful.
Yes. Okay, and that's a list of all the Bradley Batemans. So here's another Dana. Did she have a tree that was useful? 2 people. One of them Miller, no. And another one. We have 19 people. And a Miller. Oh my God.
Ellen Marie.
Helen Marie Miller. Now that's not likely. That's not likely at all, because our Miller,
Yeah, but she had a sister named Helen.
right, he had a sister named Helen Josephine Miller.
Oh, that's in Pennsylvania. No.
Yeah,
that's
right. I mean, it's not that far away from New Jersey or New York or wherever,
Right.
but still.
But it's, more coincidental than I'd be willing to,
Yeah.
I'm hoping that isn't our guy.
But it was cute anyhow.
All
It was
right.
close.
Okay, so,
Barked up the wrong tree.
right. And when I look for Bradley Batemans, we have 78 of them. Let's see if any of them have a Dana. Okay, so we have a Bradley Bateman who is 56
That one.
and his child. Okay, so we're gonna
Well, that one that has 56, that
Yeah.
sounds promising. Hopewell Junction.
New York, yeah.
yes, I
Mount
think
Vernon.
so. So we've got, all right. So let us see if he has his parents up there. And, all right, let's go to, all right, Hopewell Junction. We're gonna pull him down, grab and pull. So now we have a separate window, and I can now open another 50 tabs. And so we'll open him. And what we're really looking for is his parents. Does he have, so this is the 32-year-old guy. That one's not going to be much good, but he might have, 55, 28, 56. Okay. I feel more confident about the, this probably is the, and okay, I know you're experiencing technical difficulties. Let's try that again. Okay. So this one is still the 32-year-old. And so let's take a look at the 56-year-old. Okay. So Yvonne Bateman, that's probably his wife, kids, or Catherine Bateman. Yvonne could be a sister. All right. And so let's check that one. And that one. These were the kids, right? Get rid of that one. Get rid of that one. All right. And so Caulfield, Edward Bateman. These do look like a bunch of siblings, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's try, so we've got Edward Richard,
Yvonne.
and wait a minute. Yeah, and Bradley.
And they're all pretty close, like Hopewell Junction, New York, and what was it?
Congers, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, Congress is further down, but they also had Connecticut.
Mm.
All right. Okay. Nope, that's not what I wanted. So sometimes I can find a
But you know, there was a Smith over there, and it seems to me that Grant's grandmother's name was Katie Smith.
Yeah, but we're still having these,
Grasping at straws, that's all.
right, this wasn't, I'm looking for a particular obituary that includes Edward, Richard, and Bradley Bateman as survivors of somebody. Well, let's try this. No, that should have had, and let's see. No. Okay, that's not coming. If I don't get instantaneous results, I just, off to the next one. And I'm not seeing, let's try this.
You're just amazing with all this stuff.
Well, you just try things. You just try this, and then you try that, and no, that's just class of. Okay, so we've got all right. Okay, this is how I live. So I'm just wanted to give you a sense of the things that we can do. Hey there. Right. Right. Why didn't you join us on the next session? We're still on a session. No. Oh, right, it's 1 p.m. She thought we were done. It's only 1 p.m.
Oh.
Okay. Well, tell you what, let me close this up and I'll talk to you later, okay? Okay, bye-bye. Okay. So I just wanted to give you an example of, I wouldn't give up on him if we don't get an answer back from Dana Bradley. We don't really, we have, Jack Hyatt, not a very close match. And we have no idea how close Jack is to Bateman. I mean, he could be like a distant cousin. And we don't see any other, this is promising, but that's Woods with an S. There's a Smith, though. You mentioned Smith as a possibility. There's another Smith. So we're not really seeing anything here that is shedding light on how the connection to Bateman could be. Though it could be that Smith. And you said that, who Miriam did you say was the Smith in your husband's family?
Katie. She was my husband's grandmother, Pop's. No, if Tessie is his mother, then Katie would be his grandmother.
Okay. Okay, so that does come up on the, for some reason, we're not able to see that tree. So that might be through Katie, which does connect to the Woods.
So have we confirmed that Tessie is Pop's mother?
No, we haven't. We really need to find out what, I mean, we have it confirmed on a logical basis, okay? We have a 19-year-old guy. Katie was born in 1865. So she's 30 years older than Daniel. Is it more likely that Daniel would have an affair with Tessie, who's 2 years older than him, or with Katie, who is 30 years older than him?
Right.
So, on a logic, I think we can say it's Tessie, because I just logically don't see this connection. If we do get an answer from Dana regarding Bradley Bateman, and he is related to the Woods family, he's related to Katie Smith, then he would, I would expect him to be a grandchild of Angus Robertson and Tessie Wood, is what I'm expecting Bateman.
So our DNA would confirm that on the Robertson side. So if Grant had Pop or my husband had any Robertson DNA, then that confirms that Tessie would be the mother. Is that logic correct?
Well, it's not it's not that none of Grant's matches would have Robertson DNA and not Tessie's DNA. The only Robertsons who will be matches to Grant are Robertsons who are children of Tessie's.
Oh, okay. I
Right.
did that wrong. Okay.
So that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at these two as being a family, all right?
Mhm.
And so we are thinking that Bradley Bateman, who was born, he's 56. So he was born in, let me do my math. I'm 62, he's 6 years. So he was born in 1966. 6 years, 64. So he was born in 1964. Right?
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay. So I would put him one generation south. And if we look at our chart, if he is, I would say like, and he's 500. So I would put him in here. So first cousin once removed, I'm thinking half, this might be a little bit, let's take a look. If we're thinking that Bradley is here and the relationship is here, that would be a half first cousin once removed. And that is not, because Bradley shared, no yawning.
I know, sorry. It's been a hectic few days with, kids and grandkids here.
You are allowed to get sick of this. I don't know.
It's just mind-boggling to my brain. Oh.
I do frankly crash on Saturday and Sunday just because this is so intense for me. So other people don't have that luxury. So at 582 centimorgans, if he was born in 1964, 582 centimorgans, we are going to be shut off in, 9 minutes and 40 seconds anyway.
Well, before you do, I want to thank you and I want to thank Rosie.
Oh, I didn't do anything. But this is quite interesting, but it's so mind-boggling.
Right. So, 580, that would really ask him to be in this area, a full cousin once removed, which really argues for him being on mom's side, or a full first cousin. So if he is a full first cousin, I bet he's connected to the Millers. I bet he's connected to the Miller Downies. We'll find out.
Hopefully, yeah. I hope this gal answers you.
And if he doesn't answer us, then we're gonna treat this like an adoption case. And we're gonna research Bradley Bateman and find out who he is. We're gonna stalk him.
Oh, the mystery continues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go to his Facebook page. We're gonna read all of his Facebook posts. We're gonna look for any mention of cousin or aunt or uncle or, great picture of your dad,
Oh, Oh my gosh.
That's what I do. I stalk people, and and that's how I find out their family. So if you weren't creeped out yet, you will be.
Don't forget, Kay, to send me a copy of this chart.
I will do that. I will do that.